One of my spiritual teachers once told me that practicing gratitude is the highest spiritual practice, and I believe it, because practicing gratitude can change your life. I wasn't always used to acknowledging the abundance that I had in my life. My mind tended to focus on what I lacked in time, money, friends, and love. Give me a like if you've totally been there. My negative and critical mindset shifted after I started a regular gratitude practice. You may have heard of keeping a gratitude journal, and I've linked a video above that walks you through how to start a gratitude journal that you'll actually keep. But in this video, you will embody gratitude, and this is how practicing gratitude can change your life just like it did for me. When you combine mindful writing in a gratitude journal with this embodied restorative yoga for gratitude practice, you will immediately feel greater contentment and joy and experience improved health. Not a lot of people know about this combination, so I am so excited to share it with you today. By the end of this practice, you will feel how practicing gratitude can change your life. Consider subscribing to my channel because I post new free yoga videos every week to help you keep that momentum going. This restorative yoga sequence has 3 poses, and we'll hold them for longer periods of time so that you can truly focus on what you're grateful for. The props that you'll need for this class are an open wall space, a flat and round yoga bolster, 5 to 6 blankets, 2 blocks, and an eye pillow, which is optional. Gather up your props and meet me back here on your yoga mat. Let's begin in a comfortable seat of your choice, just to check in and observe what's going on now so that you can see what shifts have been made at the end of this practice. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. And with a tall spine, bring the awareness to your head and the thoughts in the mind. Is the mind restless or still? Cluttered or clear? Travel the awareness down to your heart and tune into any emotions that you're feeling now or those that you've been feeling lately. Is there an ease to your emotions? Or has it been a little like a roller coaster? And finally, drop that awareness down into the belly. And from here, radiate an awareness into the whole body, tracking for any places of tightness or physical tension. Now that you've made these simple observations, open the eyes if they were closed. And let's start with Mountain Brook. You'll need 3 blankets and 1 round bolster. We'll start with the blankets. Grab one off your stack. And to form this shape, which is a basic fold blanket, you'll fold the blanket 3 times from an open blanket, fold 3 times, short sides together. You'll end up with something that looks like this. Once you've got this, place it down on your mat. It's about the size and the width of your mat. And take the long side and roll it up into a nice tight roll. This roll is going to be cradling the back of your neck. So place that at one side of your mat where you have open space on both sides of the mat to accommodate your arms. Then grab your other 2 blankets. From that basic fold shape, we'll simply take the long side and fold it over to the long side until you have a rectangle fold blanket. Do the same thing with the second blanket and stack those 2 together. Then, with that stack, you'll place it about 4 to 6 inches away from your blanket roll. Finally, grab your round bolster And place that on the other side of your mat. Widthwise across, this will support your knees. So sit in between your round bolster as well as the blankets for your back, and extend your legs over top of the round bolster so that your knees are hooked into the bolster, the heels are on the floor. Place your hands behind you, inhale and lift up through your spine, and with that length, exhale and lower back. You can lower to your forearms as you come down. And now you'll need to make some adjustments. So blanket goes underneath your neck, and the tops of the shoulders are resting on the floor, but the backs of the shoulder blades are resting on the blanket. So it will feel like your sternum is lifted up higher, your ribs are splaying up higher to the ceiling in this gentle back bend. So adjust as you need until you find that space of effortless holding, and then extend your arms long and wide with the thumbs either facing up or turning backward, palms open. Now the chin will be slightly tipped up, and if that is uncomfortable, you can lower the blanket roll and support the neck even more. Once you've arrived, perhaps apply your eye pillow here, or close the eyes if it's comfortable. Give yourself a few moments to settle into this feeling of lifted heart, relaxed body. Gratitude is the appreciation of what is meaningful and valuable to you. Think of something that you are grateful for. And don't just stop with the thing, but also explain why you're grateful for it. And place that gratitude for this person or this thing or this being into your heart. And as you make these explanations to yourself and you describe why you're grateful, feel that gratitude arrive in your heart. Is it warm? Light? Does it feel open and spacious? Once you're satisfied with the first thing that you're grateful for, choose something else and start that process over. Choosing what you're grateful for, saying why, and deeply feeling in your heart both the what and the why of your gratitude. Allow yourself to really fill up and fully embody the feeling of being grateful. Choose one last thing or being, repeat the process, and let this gratitude permeate every cell of your being, starting with the heart and radiating out through the arms and the legs. Stay with the feeling until it's time to come out of this pose.
Transition out of Mountain Brook by first gathering your arms inward, resting them on your belly. Then bend one knee at a time and place the feet against the round bolster and simply roll it away from you until your feet can touch the floor. Take your time as you open your eyes, wiggling into the toes and the fingers. Choose a side to roll onto and drop the knees to that side. And then slowly use your hands to push into the floor and come up sideways to a seat. This next position is supported reclining bound angle with ramped bolster. The setup is a little involved, but it is so worth it. So let's clear what we have off the mat and set up for the next position. Ramp the flat bolster up on 2 angled yoga blocks, then place a rectangle blanket on top of that bolster, followed by a folded over blanket at the very top of the bolster, and this will be for your head and to support your shoulders. Then roll up 4 more blankets. Starting from the basic fold, take the shortest side and roll it up to the short side. Place 2 along each side of the bolster, and then 2 toward the other end of the mat. To arrive in the pose, first sit down on your mat with your back to the ramped bolster, and then lean forward a little bit. Scoot yourself so that you're exactly touching with your back and your hips to the bolster ramp. With your knees bent, place the soles of the feet together to touch, and the knees will start to open wide to the sides. Ensure there's at least 12 inches of space, maybe even more, from your heels to your hips. Then grab these rolled blankets and place them underneath the calf as well as the upper thigh on both sides. This will elevate the knees sufficiently so that there's absolutely no stretch happening in the legs, and if there is, you probably need a higher roll underneath each leg. Then, once these are comfortably in place, ease your way back onto the bolster ramp. Arrive with the back of your head lifted against the lip of the top edge of this blanket that's highest on the bolster, so that the forehead is higher than the chin and your neck feels fully supported through the natural curvature of your shoulders resting on the blankets. Now, you'll take the other 2 blankets that are rolled and bring them up to your thighs. Hands are down with the fingers resting over the lips of the blankets and the elbows fully supported by the blanket rolls. You can close your eyes from here and allow yourself to let go. Close your eyes if that's comfortable, and allow yourself to relax. Relax your body weight into the props, into the blankets. And do one last check-in, ensuring that the whole body feels supported and at ease. That no part of you is vying for attention, so that you can become very still and very relaxed. Now enter into the feeling of gratitude again. With quiet, smooth, continuous breath. Use the inhales to fill up with the feeling, and the exhales to spread the sensation throughout the whole body. finally, let even that fall away so that there's no effort whatsoever for you to rest here. Enter the state of being and release all doing. Come out of the pose very slowly. First, by opening the eyes so that you can see and feel the shape of your body. And simply lift the blankets off the legs to the sides. Then reach your hands down toward your legs and use the hands to support your knees up and in as the feet step flat to the ground. You can move the blankets for the legs off to the side and extend the legs long, one at a time. And just as slowly, exhale, push your hands into the floor, tuck your chin in toward your heart, and lift up. Once you're arrived with the heart above the hips, come to any cross-legged or other position that feels good just for a moment. Maybe eyes close with just as much attention to stay inward. We'll start to move the props and set up for the last posture, which is legs up the wall. So if you're near that open wall space, you can simply turn your mat against it, perpendicular, and we'll enter the posture, and I'll show you what that prop setup looks like now. Arrange your mat perpendicular to your open wall and place a basic fold blanket up against the wall and across the mat, as well as a square fold blanket at the middle of your mat to support your head. And keep your eye pillow handy as well if you're going to use it. To come into legs up the wall, sit against the wall with your back to the wall and your feet away from the mat A hip is on the blanket. Then lean forward. The arm that's closest to the mat will stretch underneath the other arm, lower to the forearm, and then keep going, lower to the shoulder, and swing your legs, rolling onto your back as the legs come up the wall. You can walk closer or farther away from the wall from here. Ensure that your whole back body, especially your pelvis, is against the ground. So if your hips are lifted, then scoot away from the wall until they come down to the floor. Readjust the blanket underneath the back of the head, but leave the neck free. And then open the legs wide until they are right underneath the knees, which are right underneath the hips. Relax through the feet and stretch the arms out to a V with the palms face up, opening them a little bit wider than you think so that there's space in the armpits. You might like to apply the eye pillow now or close your eyes. And as you feel lightness start to arrive in the feet and a feeling of rejuvenation entering the legs, recall the feeling of gratitude. Relax into the legs. Relax deeply into the hip sockets. And allow yourself to be exactly as you are. Nothing to change, fix, or improve. As you settle into stillness, notice that you have a choice to move, but also commit to being still. So if there is an impulse to adjust the body or an itch, something that takes your attention externally away from your heart and away from the feeling of gratitude, just observe that. And bring it back into the sensation of you being here, exactly as you are, exactly where you need to be. Become heavy, and at the same time light. Feel the sensation of heaviness in the chest, lightness in the legs. Focusing on gratitude naturally expands that sensation, not only in the moment, but in the future moments of your life. What you practice now, you become. Stay here with the sensation of gratitude in your body until I bring you out.
Bring your awareness to your toes and start to move the toes, curling, opening. Point through the feet, flex through the ankles. And one at a time, walk your feet down the wall with your knees toward your chest. Arrive in a comfortable space with your feet against the wall, your low back flat against the blanket. Extend one arm overhead and slowly roll to that side, letting the knees drop down, the feet come away from the wall. Rest for a moment here and just let your legs become used to the new sensation of blood flow back into the knees, back into the feet. And take your time, press into your hands and lift up. We'll come to a simple seat here on the mat for a moment. Cross-legged perhaps. And with the tall spine and the eyes closed, check back in with yourself. What's the quality of the mind? What sensations are in the heart? And has any of the tension you experienced in your body, has it released from your physical self now? All answers are valid. It's your experience. It's all here for you as a messenger and a teacher. As you open your eyes and come back into the space, thank you so much for practicing this restorative yoga for gratitude class. I'm so curious about your gratitude practice, so leave a comment down below and let me know how this went. And don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can get alerted every time I post a new yoga and meditation video to help you pursue your purpose with more peace of mind. I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.